So the pilgrimage mass. So I don't know if Teresa wants to begin by telling us where she is, with a backdrop behind us. So sure there's a story there, and a little bit about the pilgrimage mass, inspiration behind it, and the journey and the story so far, and really how we can, what's really on offer, the gift that that could be shared with this really for our schools and parishes, and really enabling people again in a very practical way and encouraging them in their worship of God in the mass. So over to you, Teresa.
Thank you. Well, the background is actually the sunrise at the Sea of Galilee in a place called Magdala, which is a little village on the shore of the Sea of Galilee. It could be where Mary Magdalene lived. They recently discovered a first century synagogue there. So for sure, Jesus would have gone and preached in that area. And they've built a complex of buildings called Duc in Altum, which means put out into the deep. There's an absolutely beautiful chapel there. And the altar is in the shape of a boat. And beyond the boat, you see the Sea of Galilee. So it's just a wonderful setting. And I was there on a pilgrimage in 2017. And I so wanted to go back there in a few years with some musicians. It hasn't happened yet, but maybe it will do. I don't know. So that's a place called Magdala, and it's part of a Holy Land pilgrimage. Now, thinking about what is it about pilgrimage that's got me? In the days when I was a full-time violin teacher, I loved my job. I loved this term because you're teaching kids Christmas carols and you know, getting all worked up for Christmas. But in the holidays, because I was on my own, I thought, what am I going to do with this great 6 weeks holiday in the summer? And I used to go on pilgrimage out of curiosity to find out what made these places special. Why did people go there? I remember going to Medjugorje because somebody wouldn't shut up about it. I thought, well, the only way I'm going to find out is to go there, you know. And to be honest, that changed my life. You know, I came back a different person. I went 3 times in 1 year because in those days as a teacher, I could afford to do those things. And it was life-changing. And the thing about going on a pilgrimage, it's like when you go on holiday, you come back and you can talk about it enthusiastically to other people. When you've been on a pilgrimage, you can come back and talk enthusiastically about your faith and how it's been affected by where you've been and what you've done and what you've seen and who you've met and what's happened. It's such an easy way to share your faith with other people. So that's something I discovered over the years in different places. I remember going to Assisi, loved it. There is something so peaceful about Assisi, where St. Francis was living. And there's a great big chapel with fantastic murals, artworks at the top of the hill. And at the bottom of the hill, there's another basilica with a tiny little church inside called the Porziuncola, with beautiful artworks on the wall. And that's where Francis died. But it's so poignant to go there and experience and to be so close to the saints that live there. Going back to the Holy Land, I've really had a privilege. 1 year I went as a volunteer and I lived it for 3 months in Jerusalem and got so close to lots of places of pilgrimage that certainly had an effect, I think, on my life when I came back. And I knew I didn't want to go back to teaching, so I became what I would say a freelance Christian musician doing different things. But Jerusalem itself is just such an incredible place. And it's because it's the center for Christians and Jews and Muslims, it's always going to be a place of conflict, but it's always going to be a place of prayer and a place of pilgrimage, and very special. So one of the pieces in this pilgrimage mass is called the Jerusalem Anya's Day, because I've named each part of the mass music after a place of pilgrimage. So there's an Assisi Sanctus, there's a Magdala Gloria, there's a Lindisfarne Kyrie. Lindisfarne, wonderful holy island it is, and you know you can only get there when the tide's out, either walking or on the bus. So imagine what it was like, you know, centuries ago, because you've got Cuthbert, Aidan, all of those holy people lived there, and they spread their faith round the whole of Northumbria, the whole of the northern part of England. They would go out and walk, and they would talk to people. Now, if we go on pilgrimage, can't we do the same thing? Can't we go out and walk and talk to people? Because it's the easiest way, it's the best way to make a difference and to share your faith.
The mystery of faith.